Hello, welcome to Sean Builds a Lisp. My name is Sean, and I am going to be building a Lisp that compiles to JavaScript. So I've already streamed a little bit of this project. What we did in the last couple episodes is to build out a set of parser combinators for our parser. As I was going through this, I kind of realized that this is maybe not going to be as flexible as I had hoped. I was hoping that by using parser combinators, I'd be able to essentially make the parser really extensible. But what ended up happening is the way parser combinators works is that all the state of the parser ends up trapped in closures, and so the state is not really manipulable. So what I'm going to do today is actually go through, delete all this, and pretty much start from scratch with a kind of standard read table. Sweet. So let's get started. What we're going to do here is just delete all of these files. And you know what's fun about deleting code is that code that doesn't exist doesn't have bugs. All right, cool. So we also have a bunch of tests here, and I think I want to delete pretty much everything in these tests, except for there's one function that I think was pretty handy, this describe module. So we are going to just delete everything else. Boom. Cool. Delete those guys. Delete those guys. Awesome. Okay, so now that we're kind of starting over from scratch here, I guess I should also announce that I've decided on a name for my Lisp. I'm going to call it blisp. This could have a couple different reasons. I'm going to essentially be using the Babel AST to compile this to JavaScript. So if you want to call it B is for Babel, that's cool. B could be for browser Lisp. Who knows? Not really going to specify it, but it's a name that was available, and we can have a nice file extension BL that doesn't have collisions with any other file extensions. So cool. Let's just get status here, all that deleted code. I'm going to check out a branch. We'll call it read table. And then git commit everything. Starting over. And then I'll push this up to GitHub. Cool. So what's next here? All right, so we're starting over. So basically the way that we're going to follow pretty much the common Lisp reader steps here, maybe make a few really dumb modifications that might bite us later, but we're going to do it. We're just going to build a bunch of stupid stuff and see if it will work. So I'm going to start, actually, let's start with an input stream. All right, so the other thing I'm going to do here is I was originally doing this with just ES5. I think that's kind of dumb. We're going to use Babel in the end anyway, so like let's do this for real. Not getting autocomplete here. Let me think that this is what we want, except for that mocha. All right, so I'm just fiddling with my ES lint config here, so get rid of this mocha part. And alrighty, yeah, we'll just roll with that and see how that goes. All right, so we want to create an input stream, and so this guy is going to be in a class here. So let's do class input stream, and let's make a constructor. So our input stream is essentially going to be the string that we are actually compiling. So let's just have the constructor take an input. and that'll be the string. And then, so we're gonna want a few different variables to track on this input stream. So current position in the input stream will be 0. And let's just say this dot input equals input. So next we will want to have a couple of functions to actually read from the stream. So let's write a function peakchar, and all that's going to do is return the current character at our position. And I'm using char at just for funsies. I did some performance benchmarking on really big strings, or if you're repeating the test a lot, char at ended up being a bit faster than indexing it. Could do char code add also, but I'm not sure that that's actually what we want, and we want to just keep this simple for now. So this is going to be pretty straightforward. All right, so read char is going to read the current character and increment the position. Cool. So that's our input stream. Let's see here. Just gonna make some functions to wrap that behavior. Oops, I want that to be, oops, rename. I want that to be read char, because we're going to, oh, you know what else I need to do? I renamed my project, so I should rename this stuff too. I'm gonna call this reader instead. And you know what? We renamed our project. It's not TBD script anymore. It is now blisp. So let's do that. And we'll want to just confuse the heck out of VS Code and change this to blisp. And I think that's going to be good. Cool. So read char. You know what? We didn't export. All right, so I'm going to stick with CommonJS here. I'm not going to have exports compiled down because I'm not sure if I'm going to want my programming language to actually do that same thing. So we're going to continue. We're going to do this. And so basically, so for read char, module.exports is going to equal function read char, and this is going to take a stream. And so this is going to be pretty easy. We're just going to return stream.read char. And this is just kind of for convenience. We could totally call it directly from the input stream, and for no real reason at all, I just want it to work like this and use functions that I import. So peakchar, and so this is also simple, return, and so this is going to take a stream, return stream dot peakchar. Cool. So I think that is basically what we want for our basics. So here, let's rename this guy to reader also. So I suppose we should actually write some tests. So what do we have? Let's input stream.spec.js. So here we're going to describe module at blisp slash core slash reader slash input stream. And so what this function does is it basically calls the Mocha describe function with this string, and then returns me or calls the provided callback with the required file. So we've got our class here. Whoops. And so we've got input stream. So let's just write a dummy test just to kind of get back into the swing of things after deleting all that code. All right. Const. What is this? It's just const assert equals require assert. I might jump into using an actual assertion library later, but for now, we'll just keep rolling. So let's just test this. Assert dot. Let's just do that. All right, so let's do new input. Oops. I can learn how to type. New input stream, and let's just say it should be an empty object, and let's go ahead and npm test and watch it fail. Cool. Whoa. Sorry. Well, this is a sensitive scroller. All right. Cannot find module.parser. That's a new one. All right. Where's this? Oh, I think it's my barrel file. I renamed this. This is reader. All right, cool. Let's do that again then. Sweet. All right, so we successfully got a class. All right, so, and where are we? Input stream. What shall we do? To actually test this for real, I guess what we want to do is input stream. Let's just do that, and so now let's just assert equal that input stream dot position is 0. Let's have a real test now. This is 0, and input is foo. Whoops. Something is a bit laggy on this machine, I'm not sure. All right, and so we want the input to equal foo. Save and run those tests. Great. All right, so let's describe input stream dot, well, let's start with peak char. Peak char. All right, so it returns F. So first character in the stream is going to be F. All right, so assert dot equal input stream dot peak char, and that should be F. All right, what do you say we run it? Pretty trivial, should work, great. Just gonna go ahead and copy pasta this whole function. And we'll just change this from peak to read. And actually, you know what we should do here is also verify that the position is updated. So after we read, we should have position 1. Oops. All right, I'm just going to also verify that peak char doesn't modify the position either. Whoops, where'd my cursor go? All right, so this guy should be 0. All right, let's run that, and great. So our input stream works. I'm not going to bother writing tests for pchar and readchar quite yet. Excuse me. Okay. So, what's next? So we're going to pretty much have a read function, and so let's get that guy started. All right, so let's just start by filling in an empty function. All right, so this will be, we will take read, and it's going to take a stream. We're probably going to end up with some more functions, but that will come later. So for now, I'm just going to return stream, just have a empty stub there. So basically the way this is going to work is we are also going to have a read table. So this is going to be really simple. Module.exports, and we're just going to return a function. And cool. So what we want our read function to do is we want to essentially import our read table. Require /read table. So just thinking through this, I don't think this is exactly what we want, but it'll get us started. So what do? We grab the first char of the stream. So we're going to call pchar on stream, and of course we'll also want to import that. All right, so now we have a char. All right, so what do we do with this? So const reader is, we're going to check our read table for char. Sorry, I misspelled reader there, and that's bothering me. There we go. All right, so if we have a reader, then we will return, we're going to call reader with the stream and the char that we just got. And so basically this is kind of a dispatch table. So we look at the first character in the stream and decide what to do. So for example, if it's a number, a digit, then we're going to call read number. So let's see. Otherwise, if we don't have a character, we're just going to, we don't want const anymore, because we're going to reassign the variable. All right, so while char is essentially not white space, and so I'm going to do something really dumb for now, and we're just going to pretend that the only white space that exists is a single space character, and we'll come back and fill that in with some extra stuff. But what we will do here is we're going to start, basically the default reader is going to be read symbol, and for now I'm going to do this in place, but later we're going to abstract this out into a separate function. So all right, so what do we call this? Let's just call this symbol string, and so this is going to be that. So yes, that's right. All right. Maybe. Sorry, I was thinking a little bit ahead of myself. So basically, as we're going through and reading the characters out of this stream, we're going to be creating syntax objects. And basically, when we call read, I think what we're actually going to want to do is essentially read all the white space in and kind of include that in our syntax object. And so usually this is called trivia. And so, but I think I'm going to hold off on that. And so basically we just want to collect a symbol. So what we're going to do is call, I'm going to actually say a symbol string is, we're going to just, stream and char. All right, so we're going to defer this to another reader function. And actually, I think, so this is the really dumb thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to pass in what we have so far into the read symbol char. And so this is the thing that's deviating from the common Lisp reader that I either is going to be really helpful or really bite me in the ass. So basically what this is going to allow me to do is to essentially override reading a symbol, and by symbol I mean identifier pretty much. So like in this case, this symbol string variable, like every time you see that, that would be a symbol if we were reading this in our language. And so basically what this is going to allow me to do is, rather than just reading a symbol, if I type something like console.log, we can add a reader macro for the dot character. And so what we'll get is console as a string passed in. And now that we have kind of have the beginning, we can actually return something totally different. And basically we can make a reader function that will essentially turn this into a Lisp, like a list. I think I'm going to keep them as arrays. So basically it'll be like dot console log kind of thing. So basically under normal circumstances, the symbol reader will just read whatever input's given. It's not white space. And we want to be able to override that. So console.log becomes something more complex than a symbol. It'll also maybe help things stay a little more pure. Anyway, cool. So what we need to do here is create a function for read symbols char. I'm going to start with a read symbol table. We'll clean this up probably and have a bunch of subdirectories. All right, so exports equals plain old table, and by default this table is going to be empty. And then I'm just going to call this read symbol. Actually, let's just do the whole function. Let's do it for real. All right, so module.exports equals function read a symbol. And so this is going to take a stream and a char. So this is basically our root function. Kind of debating if I want to also have it take an optional value as the last parameter, but I think I am going to pass on that because I'm not quite sure what I want to have happen. All right, so, but we'll want to grab our, grab our table here. So let's do, keep things consistent. Read symbol table. What's required / read symbol table. All right, and so this is going to be pretty much the same thing. Actually, I'm just going to straight up go copy that. We're in read here. So let's return read symbol, and we're going to give it stream in the char. Cool. Read symbol over here. We're essentially going to do this. All right. So basically, symbol string equals boom, 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 boom. We'll want to check to see if we have a reader. If we have a reader, if our read symbol table has char, then we have a reader, and we will turn reader All right, so we actually want this to be inside the while loop, but all right, so what are we doing? We're going to give it a stream, a char, and our symbol string. And we want that to be in the while loop. And this should be a symbol string equals that. And so the reader is essentially its job, if reader exists, its job is to return a symbol or return something. And then at the end of this, we get to return our symbol string, which might not actually be a symbol at this point. But otherwise, what we're going to do is symbol string plus equals read char stream. So we need to import some more stuff. So read char is going to be require./read char. Read. I don't think that's how that's spelled. All right, cool. So we've got read char, and then we want to assign char. We want to peek the char. So we also need to import that. Alrighty, so essentially what we think we've done here is basically we're going to be able to now take a string and return the same string. Isn't that exciting? All right, so let's run this in a test. Let's see here. So read, it's just test read symbol itself. All right, we're going to refactor the crap out of this later, I'm sure. So let's import blisp /core/ actually, you know what? I kind of don't like having this all in core. This is totally random. I'm just gonna bump reader up to where to go? Oh, it's like, great, that's where I want it. All right, so I could have just renamed core. Package.json, and this should be, let's do this reader. I think I'm gonna kind of follow Babel's lead on this and have like a bunch of top level modules that, like, I think core will definitely be a package in the npm repo, but I think what it'll do is more like re-export a bunch of the other stuff, kind of bundle it up. So let's totally bork our test modules here. Actually, what I'm going to do here is I am going to just this is much more generic than just in the reader, so I'm going to pop this to my the top of my barrel file here. All right, and now my barrel file is totally borked because this should be reader. All right, and then we get to delete this. Bye, core. All right, so we are in read symbol here. All right, cool. And then what that means is that we can simplify that. All right, and what we want is we want to get our read symbol. And so this will be our actual read symbol function. Symbol. Great. So, interesting. All right. All right, so let's do describe. And what do we want? We want to read symbol. All right, I'm gonna pop up and write another test function. I think I'm gonna do this a lot too. So very similar to this, I just want to basically make a function that will pretty print a cool description in my tests, and I don't have to like keep rewriting stuff. Here, I'll just kind of talk through what I mean here. So input stream, you can see, what do I have here? So that should be that. And so basically the describe statement is useful for printing out these tests, but this text is repeated down here. So basically I don't want to repeat myself on this. So let's do describe call. And what do we want here? So this is just going to take a function and bunch of other args. All right. So and there we go. That's what a function looks like. So basically what we're going to do here is we are going to return, these should be returns here, just in case we want to do some async stuff. So we are going to return describe, and we're going to just pull the name of the function, and basically I'm just going to rely on the fact that I'm naming all my functions right now. Very well maybe the case that this has to get more complicated. If it's an anonymous function, we'll want to print something a little prettier, but not sure what to do in that case right now. So I'm just going to pretend like all my functions are always going to have names. All right, so what we want to do here is function.call constant value equals function.call. And we're going to do I remember? No, we want apply. And we're also going to ignore this in the JavaScript, this sense. All right, and then we're going to slice this guy up to the end. So this, what do we want here? We want args.length -1. And so basically that's because the last argument in this args array. Hey, Kuro, good to see you. I considered getting kind of drunk before this stream too, but thought that might not be a great idea. But welcome. Cool, so we've got our args, and so like this other function up here, the last parameter to this function will be a callback, and that will essentially be our test. Actually, you know what? I don't want to do it like this because we don't know what we're testing. We'll just do a callback. But all right, so that's it. It's going to look exactly the same as the top. All right, let's just call this. Actually, all right, I take it back. I am waffling. All right, so I think the reason I'm waffling here is because as you call this in Mocha, when there's a failure, it's going to give you a stack trace. The problem with calling apply inside here is that every single stack trace will just point to this line. So what we actually are going to do here is, all right, so callback is going to be args.length -1. And so we are going to actually apply the callback and assume there's no this. And all right, so first argument is the function. Actually, we can do a call. Why not? All right, so call the function, and we're going to do args.slice. Whoops. Similar to what we had before, slice up to the last argument. All right, args.length -1. And so basically, we want to return. You know what? We don't need to call it. We can just call it. It's a function. Cool. I need to assign that to a variable. Sweet. Okay. So basically, describe call, and then what we can actually do here is make this a little fancier. So we can say this is going to be calling, and this might get a little weird, but that's cool. All right, so basically our little description is going to look like you're calling it. So let's just slice this out of the way right up front here. And this will now be function args. All right, and the cool thing about this is I just want to actually, you know what? All right, I'm just going to do something kind of dumb here. So basically, this is an array. So when we get the string out, it should just be the things separated by commas, and it's going to look ugly sometimes. But let's see. All right, shall we go try this out now that I've spent all that time writing nonsense? All right, so what do we want? We're going to, let's do describe call. I have to go update my slint rc and add this guy here. Oh, look at this. Oh, some of those might have been useful. All right, anyway, describe call. And now we won't get this red thing here. Awesome. All right, so we want to call read symbol, and we're just going to give it the, oh, we need to give it an input stream. Let's see, this is what's going to be ugly here. All right, we want a new input stream, and that we'll call it with foo. And then we get our callback where we get read symbol again, and whoops, and our stream in the callback. Better get input stream into our environment here. Require it be lisp reader / input stream. And so what do we expect? We expect it to read the symbol. And this is just a string right now. We need to figure out what our syntax is going to look like. Cool. And so we will also need assert. Let's just assert. Wow, that was quite an autocomplete there. All right. Let's grab it before VS Code decides that it should autocomplete random stuff. And jump in here, and so we're going to assert equal read symbol stream. Yep. All right, this is not working out at all how I thought it should. All right, and that should equal foo. I have absolutely no confidence that running my tests at this point is going to work. But let's try it. Yeah, big fat crash. What else do we have? What else did we break here? Whoa! All right, this is very sensitive. Oh, where's that? Was that here? Yeah. All right. Renamed stuff, so we didn't even get to run the test file we were looking at. Oh my goodness. Did it? It didn't run. Oh, you know what? I need to call it spec.spec.js. Cool. Let's try that again. Infinite loop. Awesome. All right, so you know what we did is we're only checking to see, we're not checking for end of input. All right, we're gonna add a function to the input stream, EOF, and return this dot position equals this dot input dot length. So we definitely need to check that. All right, so basically char is not equal to that. I wonder if peak char should just like return like some kind of symbol for this. Screw it, let's go. We'll just do that. And stream.eof. All right. I should write some tests for that, but I'm not sure I'm going to keep it. Cool. Check it out. We successfully read a string and spit it back out. Cool. So now basically what I want to do is start to read white space separated strings and spit them out. All right, so if we read all right, so here's what we're gonna do. Let's add a function read trivia. Do we want a read table for this? I'm not sure. I'm not gonna, we can add it later. All right, so basically this is going to read white space. I'm just gonna painfully enumerate some of this stuff. And there are definitely more white space characters than this, but until we actually have a programming language, I don't think we're gonna have to worry about it. But so let's get our trivia. It's just gonna be a string, and so trivia plus equals read char stream, and char is now going to be peak char stream. We're gonna see a lot of code like this, I think. All right, so import peak char. And import read char. Alrighty, and we will return trivia at the end. You know what? We need to check for EOF. I wonder if we should just throw an error if we try to read EOF. I'm gonna check for it. It's gonna be a long tail of stuff. I wonder if this should also be a function. All right, cool. Read trivia. Might as well write some tests for that. All right, read trivia spec. All right. Just like our other test functions, we're going to import that. All right, you know what? Before I keep doing this, I'm going to see if I can trick JavaScript into printing something reasonable. What do we want to do here? Let's return a hashtag input stream. Whatever. So basically what I'm responding to here is this object here. Sweet. Okay, so that's a little bit better. Still pretty ugly, and as these get longer, it's gonna be not great. But let's keep going. All right, read trivia. So let's see here. Oh, this is our read trivia function. So, and we're going to describe call, and what are we going to do? We're going to call read trivia with a new input stream, and let's call it with an empty stream. Why not? All right, get a stream. Man, my computer is having a heck of a time. I don't know what it's doing. It's a little laggy. All right, cool. All right, so we're gonna do that. And so what we get is read trivia and our stream. And I guess what we, yeah, anyway, it's gonna read an empty string. Cool. Yeah, I want to do more crazy describe functions, but I'm just going to keep going. All right. Assert every time assert read trivia, and we'll give it our stream. And stream dot, kind of realizing that we can probably clean up a lot of this. All right, so we expect that to be an empty string. Shall we run it? All right, cool. So let's just kind of enumerate some of the possibilities here. All right, so if we call this guy, when there is no white space, we should still get the empty string. Great. And copy this one more time. All right, and then if we call it with space, then yeah, look at this. I'm repeating myself like crazy. All right. We should get an empty space because that's the leading white space. All right, and just for completion, let's all right, so what else do we have? We have /n, /r, and /t. So let's do those ones. /t. Yeah, it is not gonna be long before I refactor these functions. All right, so this will be, I'm gonna do /n here. And let's do /r here. Whoa. Yeah. All right, let's escape these so that it doesn't look ridiculous. Cool. So yeah, that's pretty ugly. Well, it works. All right, so basically, now that we have our read function, all right, so we're gonna come back. So basically, so far we built read trivia, which returns any white space it encounters, and we have read symbol, which returns pretty much everything unless it encounters white space. And here we've got this stupid thing, but all right, whatever. Shall we just do it? This white space. All right, function is, wait, here's the thing. I never know if I want to capitalize space. I didn't. All right, I'm gonna do that. All right. Whatever, char. All right. Just gonna go copy this from our read trivia. There we go. Is white space. So I'll just return. Whoops. Overwrote my copy buffer there. All right, yank that. Is white space. And make the parser happy. Cool. I have /t twice there. That's interesting. All right, whatever. Read symbol. Let's well, it's not white space. And is white space require that guy? We are really rolling this by hand. And I guess I should note that the reason we're rolling this by hand is we want to make this extensible. This would be a heck of a lot less work if we used a parser generator or even took some shortcuts with regular expressions, but then we can extend our parser at runtime. So we're sticking with it. All right, so now we've got is white space there and read symbol, and I guess we can do the same in read trivia. I don't know where it went. All right, let's go find it. Is white space char and not stream EOF, and we need to import is white space. I'm not gonna write a test for this. Unless everything crashes and burns, then maybe it will come back. All right, so that still worked. It seemed like there was a bug that should have shown up, but I can't remember what I was just thinking here. All right, so actually looking at, now that we have white space and we're starting to deal with that, we should probably just verify the read symbol's behaving correctly. All right, so let's grab this and all right, so basically we have some white space and then some random crap. We should still only get food. Let's just make sure that that happens. Yeah, looks like it did. Nice. Okay, so now in read, what do we want to do here? Basically, our read function. All right, so basically, let's read the trivia. All right, so our trivia is going to be read trivia stream. And we want to do that before we grab the char. All right, so basically every time this is read a generic form, symbol, number, string, literal, array, everything's going to go through this. And so basically we'll always read the trivia. Any leading white space will go with that syntax object, and so we'll read the trivia. Great. Then if we find something in our read table, if the current character of the stream is in our read table, then we will call the reader function from the read table. Otherwise, we'll assume that it is a symbol, and so we'll call read symbol. I think that this is going in the right direction. So we're gonna have to make a decision soon. What is a syntax object? All right, so let's read .spec. Otherwise it won't run. All right, great. Just like everywhere else, describe the module we're testing. And what is this? blisp reader / read the big kahuna. Alrighty, so we've got our module. Let's just kind of getting tired of typing new. I'm kind of tempted to write a helper function for creating streams, but describe call, and we're gonna call read with input stream, and I'm just gonna add some one space, and we'll just single symbol. All right, let's get our assert function, and let's get our input stream. All right, reader / input stream. Okay, so now we get a callback with our read function, our stream. So what do we want to have happen here? So basically we are, oh, that's in my way. All right, so we're going to read from the stream. And what do we expect? We expect foo. Let's give it a shot. All right, what do we got here? Read trivia. Looks like we forgot to import some stuff. All right, what am I doing? Read trivia. I'm kind of surprised that I didn't get an error on that. What are you doing, ESLint? I thought you were supposed to help me out. All right, try this again, huh? Still crash. All right, let's see. What do we got? Read symbol. Of course. All right. Whoa, where's my cursor? There it is. All right. Symbol, and this will actually be a symbol. I think I'm going to. My goodness, will this ever run? All right, which one was this? Describe call. Read.spec. All right. Shoot. VS Code is not smart enough to command click into that. All right. Let's say read.spec. What did we do here? Read stream, and we expect to get foo, but we got an empty string. So basically, that did not work at all. Let's see. Take a look here. Read.js. So what do we have here? We get the trivia. We read the trivia from the stream, and yeah. Let's do this. I think this is it. We didn't call it with char. Nope. Yep, it's a bug. All right. Can we come in and click on that? Yep. And this is let, not const. Hey, it actually ran, and it looks like it actually did the right thing. Oh boy. Starting to get, we have enough tests that we're, wait. Whoa. trivia, read symbol, input stream. Is it just me, or does it seem like it didn't run my test? It didn't. You know why? Because it reads the symbol foo. We didn't actually tell. We didn't tell Mocha to test it. We just crashed. Read. Hey, look at that. It read the symbol foo. That's amazing. Can you even believe it? Okay, so now we want to, let's actually build syntax objects on these now. So what do we want our syntax objects to look like? All right, I'm just gonna make a file called syntax.js. I'm not sure if I want this to be a class or not, or if it's just, I'm just gonna make it an object. We can come back to this if we decide that that's no good. All right, so what do we need? We need trivia and value. So all we're gonna do here is return trivia and the value. Actually, we're gonna say type syntax. Actually, to be consistent, I'm just gonna do that and we'll see. Yeah, sounds good. All right, we're just going to return an object. Syntax includes the trivia. So if we come over to a read function, basically what we want to do here is we actually want to return syntax with our trivia and whatever our reader returns in that case. Otherwise, all right, and so I think this is what I want to do. So basically, all right, let's look at the syntax object. So basically what I want to do here is essentially have enough information to construct source maps, but not in a way that I have to reparse. So basically, we need to know the offsets in our stream. We're going to ignore new lines, mainly because if we want to be super responsive once we actually start writing the editor plugin for this. And so I don't want to have to like reparse and rebuild a bunch of stuff. And so what I'm realizing now is that we probably need to do something. We need to also record the position. Just thinking about where I want to put this information in. Script. All right, length. Yeah, I think that this is not what we want, but can always refactor, which we will, I'm sure. Gonna rewrite everything that we've written so far today. All right, so we just want to grab the position. All right, so const start equals stream.position. Const trivia length. We don't need, yes, we do. All right, stream.position. So after we want to read this first. Actually, they're evaluated in order. Let's just be lazy. Stream.position minus trivia end. Probably a better name. And I'm just going to refactor this. So we'll just always have a reader, and maybe it'll be read symbol. And that'll less code. Less code. We're not actually using startup there, so. All right, so now we expect to get a bunch of test errors because we were only assuming that we were reading strings here. Okay, so I'm gonna make another little test function. Actually, I'm just gonna do it in place here. All right, so swap this to type equal. And what do we have here? So this is going to be type of syntax, and its trivia will be a space. Not sure what I want to do there. And value will be foo, and length, whoops, will be 3. So foo is 3 characters long. And that should be an object. All right, so we have syntax. more stuff. Forgetting to import stuff. Read. We need to syntax equals. All right, let's just run it. Sweet. Alrighty. Alright, so basically I'm going to pop up here, and I'm gonna just split my window here so that I can kind of, basically I want to abstract this block here. So global dot it reads syntax, and so this will be a function. It reads syntax, and I'll take trivia and a value and a length and a callback. So return it. No, not this dot it, just it. All right, so reads, I'm just gonna make this, just gonna spit out the value here. We'll come back to this and make it prettier. All right, so basically then we'll return our call. Actually, let's just let's call this describe syntax. Describe syntax. Oops. And this might seem a little silly, but I have no idea what I'm trying to do here. All right, a little preemptive there on that. Cool. All right, let's just right, I'm just gonna make this a little easier. All right, so syntax, and we have a space, and then our value is foo, and our length is 3. Oh, what did I just do? All right, so that'll close that, that'll close that, and let's just run that. Cool. So we don't want our symbols to actually be strings though. We want our symbols to actually be symbols. So we're gonna jump in here. All right, so basically, if we have a reader here, we can't count on it returning a string. So we're just gonna immediately bail out. If you take over the symbol reader, you take it over. Great. And otherwise, we're going to keep collecting symbols in our characters, and we'll have a symbol string, and then what I'm gonna actually just straight up return a JavaScript a symbol. Whoops. I'm gonna use key for here. So basically what that does is it interns the string. And so basically every time you call symbol key for with a string, you'll get the same symbol back. And so basically this means that if you have two symbols, once you're in the programming language and you have two symbols and you want to do a comparison, you can just do a straight up triple equal comparison. One moment. Okay, so now if we run this, foo is not a symbol. Check it. And that is pretty darn true, right? Whoops, I am scrolling all over the place here. Let's get back down there. All right, so we need to go update our tests. All right, so this will be a symbol dot for key. We'll just want to do that in a bunch of places here. Right, so there, and in read, where we are doing this, symbol for key. Okay, so oh my, wait a second. Foo is not a symbol for key. Oh, I think I just typed the wrong thing there. Key for. There we go. I was trying to get the string out of a symbol and passing it a string. All right. I don't know what I am doing here. All right, what is this? Symbol dot. Oh, it's just 4. All right, now I have to go update my other crap too. All right, read symbol. Let's jump up there. Alrighty. Okay, there we go. Now we have symbols. And so basically, this starts to give a hint of what our AST is going to look like. And so basically, we are going to build up syntax object wrappers for each of the things that we're going to parse our primitives. So that's symbol, number, string, and array. Maybe object. We'll see if we can do something clever with object. That might be a little tricky. But basically, we'll have the syntax object and it will wrap it. And then when we call macros on these objects, it's going to kind of be the worst of both worlds. I don't know how many of you out there are, I guess if you're watching this, you probably know a little bit about Lisp, but common Lisp and most of the Lisp variants that have the Lisp Lisp in the name are usually have symbolic macros. And so basically what that means is a macro returns symbols, and those symbols are then resolved. Whereas if you look at Scheme, and in particular Racket, the macros operate on syntax objects. And so basically with Racket syntax objects, you can essentially guarantee that the symbol you're returning is still going to reference the same thing. And this is called variable capture. And we're going to have syntax objects, but I don't think we're going to be able to provide the hygiene that they guarantee in Racket. And so unfortunately, our macros are going to be a little painful, and we're not going to get the benefit out of dealing with that pain. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe we can come up with something clever and have hygienic macros. And then I guess, I don't know, maybe I would have to rename it to bscheme. Cool. All right, so what do we have here? We are successfully reading symbols with trivia, and so now I guess we could start with the, should we do number? Should we do string? Or should we do array? I'm gonna do read list. So I'm not calling it read. So I really would like this programming language to represent lists with just arrays, and they're just plain arrays. I'm not sure if that'll allow us to do everything we want to do though. So we're gonna start with it, and we'll see how it goes. So module.exports equals function read list, and this will take a string and a char. So basically, if char is not equal to open parenthesis, we are going to have a bad time. Not sure what. Throw error. I'm just going to return undefined. I don't know. Oh, that brings up a good point. Should undefined be a literal or a primitive? It probably should, but let's get there. All right, so basically the current character in the stream is open parentheses, so we are happy to start reading our list. So just say list is our empty array, and very similar. So basically, while char is not equal to close paren, we are just going to call read. All right, so we will need to import our read function, require ./read, and then let's see, we'll also want peak char in here. Maybe this is an argument for just calling the functions that are on the stream. You don't have to require so much crap. All right, so we're going to read stream. And let's just do something down, and we'll just list.push read stream. And so basically, we're going to collect an array of symbols, and all right, char is then going to be peak char stream. All right. All right, so basically, if char, I don't know, where should we error on EOF? We should check this. If stream dot. All right, so if we're at the end of file, we will just return Just thinking about, this should be like some kind of primitive here. All right, basically if we read, if this is basically the end of the file is trivia, so we'll just return an empty syntax object here. And I think undefined is literally going to be undefined, so this is a bad strategy here. We're gonna come back to this. Probably we'll totally forget about this and then it'll be a bug. All right, so what are we doing here? All right, so basically if we ever get to EOF, then it's an incorrect program and we'll have to handle that error. So let's just put a little to do in there and say, haven't decided how I want to do errors. We want and char. Also not sure that I really want to be checking for EOF here. We'll just keep going. We know that we're going to have to refactor a bunch of stuff. We're not going to get this right the first try. All right, so we're going to consistently read forms in until we find a close parenthesis. And so basically if char is not equal to close parenthesis, then we're gonna have a problem. We can't do anything. It's an incorrect program. But we will just call read char on our stream to gobble up that close parenthesis, and so we will need read char. Okay. Shall we see if it works? Alrighty. Describe module. Blisp / reader / read list. So then we have our read list function. Cool. So let's do describe call, and this is going to be pretty similar. So we want to read list with a new input stream. So let's start with a valid one, and let's import everything we need here. All right, so we need assert. This is a lot of repetitive stuff. I'm almost tempted to throw these things in the global when I'm running my test. No. Wait. All right. Think about what you're typing, Sean. Input stream. All right. So we are going to call read list with our stream. And we also want syntax. All right, syntax equals require blisp. Oh, come on, give me some autocomplete. All right, what do we need? We need syntax. Whoa. All right, so we're calling this, and it reads. I'm just gonna. Did you notice how I put commas? No. Okay, it reads that. I think I'm starting to understand what I wanted that helper function to look like, but let's continue. All right, so we are going to assert .deep equal read stream. Nope, read list. Whoa. That's not where that goes. That's where that goes. There we go. And what do we want this to equal? This is going to be equal to syntax, where we have an array. Oh, we need trivia. All right, so empty trivia. And our value is going to be an array. And what's in our array? We're gonna have, syntax and no trivia on the foo, but we'll have symbol dot for foo. And the length will be 3. I don't know why I typed length there. That's not how that works. All right, and then second one, we will have single space for trivia, symbol dot for bar. That should be a string. All right, what are we doing here? 3, and this will similarly have length 3. And what's the total length? We're just gonna have to count. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right, 9. All right, and that goes after the value. All right, so we'll have a syntax object that holds our array of syntax objects, and let's see, fingers crossed. Cool. It's kind of unfortunate that it and I guess we'll just jump into some breakpoints and see what the heck is going on. I have no idea why this takes so long to... Let's just see what we get. Oh my, okay. I'm gonna just jump over here. All right, actually, I'd like to have my test on the right-hand side. And let's just get some space. Oh, look at that, we didn't return anything. All right, what are we doing? We're returning our list. All right. All right, I'm just gonna run this in the terminal and see if it works. Nope. All right, we're gonna have to debug it again. Oh, breakpoint, break. Let's try this again. Undefined. Ah, what an idiot. I'm just gonna, it's tests, I don't care. I need to pass in the char. Could also kind of protect against this by actually calling peak char inside the read list function. All right, let's just see how this goes. Oh, it looks like we are in an infinite loop here. Come on. Let's see. Stream dot position. No? You're not gonna let me inspect this? Oh, it's still thinking about it. There we go. I don't think so. What? All right, so we are calling. All right, we're gonna have to just step through this. Oh, you know what? We need to. I don't even know what we're doing here. We need to read. We do need to read this jar. So let's just. We'll just ignore that value, but let's rerun this and just step through. All right, char is open parenthesis. That's great. All right, so then we read it. We need to assign it. Alrighty, step over. Excuse me, what? I'm just gonna fiddle with this. Let's do char stream. All right. Reset that. Didn't we just assign char? All right, I'm just gonna keep walking here. All right, list. What do we got? Syntax, and we've got a symbol. That's great. Char is a space, and so we will walk, and then we will push another guy, and we have syntax and a space. Let's see, and char is now Okay, so read symbol is gobbling up our end parenthesis. Okay, so what we need to do here is grab our read symbol table. All right. All right. I think that my plan is failing. All right, let's see. Let's look at read symbol. All right. Well, it's not white space. Stream UF. Cool. So basically, I think what we can do is all right, so I'm just going to do this in place here. We will need to think about the mechanism we actually want this to happen at, but just to keep making progress here. All right, what do we have? Blisp / reader / read symbol table. And so what we're going to do here is read symbol table, and for end parenthesis, we want that to be equal to function, and it really doesn't matter. We just, oh, right, we're gonna get, oh my gosh, this might actually just work out really well here. Yeah, that won't work in strict mode, so let's do this. Value, and so all right, so basically what we're doing is we're saying in the read symbol table, we're inserting a function that when it encounters a parenthesis, it's going to essentially terminate the collection of the symbol. And so now I understand what terminating symbol macros are, or reader macros. All right, so I guess yeah, let's just run it in the debugger and step through it, make sure. Yeah, I don't want that over there. All right. Great char is, oh yeah, we read, okay, so we read the parentheses. Char, wait a second here. We need to, we actually do need to call peak char on this. Oh my goodness, peak char. All right, because if we had an empty list, we would not get that out. Anyway, we don't have an empty list, so we can continue. All right, cool. All right, so then we break out. All right, we're fine. Gobble that up. Yeah, let's just run to end. So looks like we, well, at least we succeeded in parsing it, but we did not get what we expected. All right, empty trivia, foo, length 3, space, bar, length 3, 9. Huh. All right, this output is totally not helpful. Okay, let's run this again. Okay, I'm gonna totally bork this guy by, let's see, just inspect what we're getting here. Oh, what a doofus. Read list is going to return an array, not a syntax object. It's read's job to return the syntax object. All right, so cool. Right, I'm going to try that again in the terminal instead. All right, check it out. We just read an array. That's pretty fun. All right, shall we try to read a nested array? That sounds like it would be great fun. Okay, so what are we looking at here? All right, so let's just do foo bar. Oh, look at that, comma. JavaScript is linking through there. Right, so we will have, instead of this, we will have an array. Syntax, empty trivia. Still have our bar length 3, and then this guy, and this length will be, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. Of course it is. Of course. Why would it have changed? Right. And then we'll just copy paste to that guy because we're only changing single letter here. All right, so basically our read function, oh, you know what, we need to also do our read table. Whoa, okay, and we need to, I don't think this is working the way I thought it would. All right, we need to modify multiple different read tables. All right, so basically we also need to tell the reader that when it finds an open parenthesis, and then when it finds an open parenthesis. So because read list is deferring to read, so we need to tell read how to read a list. I doubt this is going to work. Of course not. All right, I need to get better printing here. All right, let's do it. All right, let's install try. We should also install at type/try, so VS Code can help us. Actually, maybe try has it. Node modules. Try. Right now I'm just checking to see if they have a type definition file. They don't, so I'm going to install the type definition file. And not doing TypeScript, but VS Code sure likes to work with type definition files, and it can do a lot for you if you even if you're doing JavaScript. Yep, let's I'm just gonna see if I can get a better error message by using try. There are other libraries, but let's try it. All right, let's see now. All right, which one are we? All right, this is the one that we broke. So rather than doing this, let's do expect. And we expect this guy to equal this guy. So basically what I'm looking for here is, I think Chai does like some nice diff printing. And we won't get this truncated object garbage, I hope. And it will actually tell me what's wrong. Oops, I'm installing again. I wanted to run my test. Cancel. Yep. All right, what's going on? Okay. There we go. Great. npm test. Expected undefined. Interesting. Okay. So let's see here. Read list. Yeah. I'm just gonna keep my breakpoint here and just see what the heck I did wrong. I bet we're returning here for some reason. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna open up our stream here. All right, so position is 0, that's great. So big char. All right, so we should read a symbol. Then we should, oh my, what was that? Oh, we're in our first test still. All right, that's not what we want to test. Whoops. All right, what? All right, let's run this again. Okay. Great. All right, so I guess you just need to not do stupid things. All right, so we didn't actually set up our test. Let's see. Oh. Oh, I think it's just this. My expected trivia on Baz was incorrect. Great. So check that out. Now, not only are we parsing lists, but we are also parsing nested lists. Isn't that fun? All right. So, what do we want to do now? I don't have too much time left tonight. We could probably get a very incomplete read string function in here. Whoa. All right, I used Dvorak and Control Shift or something swaps the keyboard layout, and that's I often hit that by accident. All right, so we want to read a string, and you know what? We will also want a read string read. Or no, sorry. Let's just do string read table. Now I want to rename this, and that'll totally bork everything. Whatever. All right. All right, so empty table, like always, and nope, string read string. Look at what I've done. Nothing's sorted anymore. All right, I'm almost tempted to make these reader functions have their own tables, but all right. We'll see how we want to refactor later, as always. All right, function read string. This is going to take a string and a char, and first of all, if char is not equal to quote, we're going to have a bad time. Cool. I already want to start abstracting some of this out. All right, so anyway, we're just going to gobble up that guy. Let's import this. Char equals require dot slash char, and then read char. And you will also grab that function. All right, so we gobble up the quote, and then we char. All right, and so this will be very similar. Well, char is not equal to the other quote we're looking for, and stream.eof. Basically, if we hit EOF, it's an error, but we haven't decided what we want to do with that yet. So we're just going to slap it in there, and that'll be a nice little bug we find later, I'm sure. Let's do let's call it string content. String content equals nope. Let's grab a reader. Reader equals we want to get our string read table equals require dot slash string read table. So I'm kind of splitting this up into different read tables so that we can later on say, I want to just extend how string parsing is handled, and then you can kind of ES6 versus ES5 escape characters, and we can do all that without writing a crap ton of extra boilerplate. All right, so we're going to check if we have a reader, which is a string read table, and if that has char, then we will, if reader, and then we return very similar to everything else. We will give reader the stream, the char, and our current string content. And so in this way, we can use the same function also to parse what are they, string literals, or yeah, the ES6 string literal syntax. All right, so we just want to return that. If we get a reader, it takes over altogether. Otherwise, string content plus equals read char, and char now equals peak char. So that'll loop, and basically if char is not equal to our quote, then we're gonna have a bad time. And then we'll gobble up that quote and return. Actually, this one we just want to be a string, so all we do is return the string content. That'll get wrapped up. It's a syntax object, and we're gonna be pretty happy. Yeah, let's do a test. All right, read string.spec.js. All right, where'd that go? I want that over here. So read string.js. There we go. All right, so describe module blisp / reader / read string. So now we have read string, describe call, read string, and the string we want to read is like everything else. We'll have a foo string literal. So now we've got read string and our stream. Oops, that should be a new input. And of course, I wonder if nope, VS Code is not going to help me. All right, input stream equals require blisp / reader / input stream. I also think I'm gonna want to rename that, but such is life. All right, there we go. All right, it reads great. I wasn't originally going to use try, but I guess we're doing it now. All right, so expect read a string, and whoa. Okay, great. And stream, I'm just going to take a shortcut there, and we expect that to equal just a string literal. Okay. Cannot read property peak char. What did I do? All right, well, let's debug it. We're pretty confident in our list now. All right, let's see here. It would help if we did the right thing, so that again. I'm pretty confident now, so I'm just gonna run it from the terminal. Well, where did I go? Oh, there it is. Yeah, try that one more time. Undefined foo. That's cool. Oh, we need to initialize our string content also. Whoops. I am now realizing that this is going to be a problem. All right, cool. So we read our string. That's pretty great. All right, so I think that is a good enough stopping point. I think when we come back, we will definitely spend a lot of time on read string because we need to get escape characters and a bunch of things. Strings are hard, so that'll be pretty fun. Great. So until next time, thanks for watching.